Okay, Eric, we're going to be doing our reflection conference on your circuit training lesson that you taught and started the unit 4 that I'm going to finish up. Thanks to the snow days, you didn't quite get to complete all your assessment in it. What did you think of your overall lesson and how you met the goals? What was your intention and objective for this unit?
My objective was to show students how to safely and effectively work out using a circuit training unit, or circuit training workout. It's a great way to burn more calories in less time, so it's just a more efficient way to work out from what studies have shown.
And did you make that, do you think the students were clear on what that goal was going to be?
I think most students, excuse me, were clear on the goal. I had a few that probably didn't understand exactly what was going on, but I think for the most part, most of the students understood.
And as you were going along, if you noticed kids that weren't quite understanding what they were doing, what was your plan to engage them or get them to buy into it more and put out more level of intensity?
Just spend a little one-on-one time with them, try to give them a little extra boost, just make sure they knew exactly what was going on and what to do.
Okay. You had 3 different circuits.
Yes.
And what was the reason for that?
Well, really it was just to accommodate the number of students. I think my biggest class was around 36, so that was actually the number of circuits, 12 times 3. Mm-hmm. So I had 3 different circuits with 12 workouts. Each circuit included 3 cardio exercises, 3 upper body, 3 lower body, and 3 core. So I just wanted to make sure everybody could move at the same time.
And you did address many of the fitness components,
yes,
correct, in the circuit?
Yes, I wanted it to be a full body workout. Like I said, they worked the upper, lower, core, and even got cardio in.
Excellent. Was your preparation, do you think your preparing for this actually was effective for you? Did it make it easier, or should you have done something a little bit different, do you think?
I think my preparation was pretty good. There were a couple classes where I had the equipment out, but it just wasn't in the exact spot that it needed to be in. So, that took up a little time and kind of interrupted the flow of the lesson and, allowed for off-task behavior. So, definitely I would just be just more prepared, have things ready to go as soon as I was ready to start.
And how would you accomplish that? What would enter your mind, and you think that you could have done a little bit differently?
Just making sure that I allow myself time to get in there before the class started. It was totally my fault, just with everything going on. Just slipped my mind. So I forgot to put things.
How'd that make you feel while you were in the middle of trying to find the equipment and get it? What were you experiencing?
I was upset with myself at the time, and I realized what was going on, but I just had to make the adjustment and try to get right back into the lesson.
In the moment.
So,
does it bother you to do in the moment adjustments? Do you think you adapt to that very well?
I think so. I think they're necessary most of the time. A lot of your lesson plans won't go exactly as you planned it. All classes are different, so what works for one class might not work for the other, so you definitely have to make adjustments. But there's a difference between making adjustments on my part, so a mistake that I made, and making adjustments to help the students. So.
Correct. Your choice of equipment, how did you decide on those stations? Did you look at what was available? What led to your decision on those particular things in those particular circuits?
Well, I had to look at the equipment, definitely. I had to do a little research, but I looked at the weight equipment in there, and I based it off of that. And then also I just looked up what the students could do, with resistance bands, or medicine ball, just things that didn't require a lot and something that would be easy for them.
The delivery of your information, what did you think on that first day when you introed the circuit? How did you feel that you did as far as, voice and getting your thoughts across? How do you think that went?
I think I definitely could have been louder, a little more authoritative. I feel like my delivery was pretty good. The students were kind of off task at times, and I should have caught some things that I didn't. Could have prevented things from happening before they did, but I let things get away. So, but overall, I think my delivery was okay. It definitely could have used some improvements.
As the day went on, did you feel that you gained more momentum and confidence, or did you feel that each class went about the same way?
I definitely gained momentum and confidence just, going over it again and making adjustments. I know we talked about different ways to deliver. The first class or two, I personally did every demonstration, and then, we talked, and then we had the students do demonstrations. We gave them the opportunity to go to their station and master the exercise that they were starting with, and then as we went around the circuits, that student actually demonstrated the exercise. So, adjustments were good, and I felt better going through the day.
Did you like the way the circuit was set up? Do you think it allowed for a good flow?
I think so. I tried to keep the colors together because, they were colors. So if you were in the white station, you would do white 1 through 12. They were colored and numbered. Excuse me. I tried to keep everything close together, so all the whites were on one side, all the blues were on one side, except for the weightlifting area. I had to kind of scatter that just because that equipment was already there, so I had to work around it and making sure that I got a full body workout in for every circuit, so that got mixed up, but I tried to keep it in the color in the same space and in numerical order to keep it easy for the students.
Okay. So you did actually give consideration to the setup of the weight equipment and how it may or may not be as effective in the flow of things. Sounds like you already thought of that.
Right, yeah, I had to make sure that every circuit had, the right kind of exercise in this, that was hitting every fitness component, so.
The student's behavior, reception of the information, and the self-discipline of moving on the whistle after each minute and adjusting to the circuit, how do you think that went? How do you think they performed?
I think it went pretty good. There was some confusion just because they weren't familiar with the stations yet and the numbers and where they were. Also having the task sheet for them to write their reps down, that helped minimize talking in between and socializing. So I think it worked out pretty well.
So you do like the task sheet where they wrote down the numbers. And on this allows for one day. Since they're going to be doing the circuit multiple days, how would this become more effective in record keeping and self-assessment for the students?
Well,
What would you do differently?
I could easily just add more columns for them to write their reps in, and it could pretty much be like a comparison chart. If I just added more columns, they could see, what they did on this day and the next day, whether they improved or not. So.
Did you feel that all the students were self-disciplined in moving from station to station?
I wouldn't say.
What did you notice? What did you observe about that as they moved?
I wouldn't say all were. Most were on task and doing what they were supposed to. I had a few that would, try to talk to their friend, and one would be over here talking to somebody when they should have been on the other side of the weight room. So a couple students would try to, talk to their friends instead of moving on to their next station. But for the most part, everyone was on task and doing what they were supposed to do.
And how did you redirect them? What's your thought about redirecting students that are off task? And did you notice any? You just said there was some distracting and talking to friends. How would you redirect that?
I just went and talked to them and let them know that you're being graded for this, and you're being graded on participating, and your intensity level. So if you're over here talking to your friend instead of going over to your next station, then I'm counting that as not participating the way you should be. So hopefully that turned their behavior around, and if not, then we would just have to resort to other things.
So what do you feel, and as you observed within yourself and within the students, what was your strongest part of this lesson, or how it went? What would you gain, and what would you deem as your strongest point of this lesson?
I think the setup was really good, and my content knowledge. I felt like I really wanted to hit on safety. So my content knowledge of the circuit training was my strong point. I just wanted to make sure that they used the proper techniques and they weren't goofing off because someone could get hurt. So
Safety was a primary consideration, is what I'm hearing from you.
definitely,
Yes.
it would be easy for someone to get hurt if they didn't know what they were doing while working out. So
What was some of the weaker points that you feel like you would like to address if you did and repeated another circuit trainings unit?
Definitely being louder and more authoritative, like I said earlier. I would definitely try to prevent some of the off-task behavior before it started. I think I was a little lenient with some students that probably should have got reprimanded. Just trying to stay on top of that before anything gets out of hand and distracts other students from learning. So.
And I did notice some frustration, because you previously mentioned that you did all of the demonstrations in the first lesson, and it was hard to talk and engage when you're doing it and the students are watching. How would you improve that? How do you think that would go better for the students and for you?
Well, like when we made the adjustment, just having them demonstrate it, and it's really hard with, you've got around 35 students watching one person, so it's easy for them to get off task. We also tried just demonstrating, about 12 to 15 of the exercises instead of all 36. Maybe just pulling out the ones that they would definitely have trouble with or weren't familiar with, and just demonstrating those instead of every single exercise.
So overall, you were pleased with this lesson and how it turned out, and would you repeat it?
I would. I think it went very well. I had students come up and comment and say they felt really good after the workout. So I think it went well, minus the behavioral issues. I think everything else was set up pretty well, and it flowed pretty smoothly. Just the minor things that needed adjustment, and that'll come with my experience. So.
Yeah, I thought it went really well. Maximum participation, a good full body workout with a high intensity level. So I agree with you. I think this was a very successful lesson that should definitely be repeated.
Thank you. I
Good
appreciate
job.
it.